What's up, guys? This is Invader1, and I am back with a new guide. Alright, and for those of you guys that don't know, this is, you are a noob now because you have absolutely watched this video. You can't go back. You are a total noob, and as a matter of fact, I am just gonna call you a noob outright. But guess what? I'm a noob too. I started a new manifest on PS3, and on this episode of the Noob Guide, we're going to talk about going from silver to gold. Now, I have two gameplays that I did from a silver gameplay and a gold gameplay, and I was going to just mash them together, but I figured it would be a little long because the gold gameplay is like 22 minutes and the silver gameplay is 17 minutes. I think it's 17 minutes or less. So, what I'm going to do is we're going to play silver and I'm going to show you guys how to go from silver to gold, and we're going to talk about a few things here, okay? Number one, we're going to talk about the waves and how silver, how you can handle reapers on silver, okay? So Reapers on silver are very interesting. They're a lot of fun. I really like silver. It's actually I stood on silver for a while before going to gold. And the other thing I want to talk about is what can you do as a noob if you don't have a lot of stuff. So let's go through the stuff that I have so far, guys. There's a brand new manifest, guys, as you guys know. So I don't have a lot. I am using the Hornet for this gameplay. But let's look at what I have. Hornet 1. The Shuriken 10, I finally upgraded it to 10 because, as I recommended it, guys, that you guys get that to 10. The Tempest 4. The Locust 4, and that is it. Alright, and then the shotguns, I've maxed out the Katana. I got the Geth Plasma, got the Scimitar 3, I leveled it up, and I got the Eviscerator 2, I leveled that up also. So I got those through veteran packs. Now we got the Phalanx 4, the Predator 10. I maxed it out. These are the base weapons. The Eagle, I got this on the well, this you could only get. This is a promotional weapon. You could only get it through the weekend challenges. So let's look at the sniper rifles. Look, I got the Raptor to 4, guys. I got the Viper to 4. These are all silver weapons, which means that these are uncommons. Okay, and I got the Mantis, which is a common maxed out. Mantis is still really good. Look at the damage bar, guys. It's just really good. The Incisor 1 and the Widow 1. And I will be playing with this, guys. I will be showing some sniper gameplay coming up on the PS3. I will also be showing you guys some Platinum gameplay on the PS3, guys. So that's coming up soon. I've been playing Platinum already. So anyways, that's that. Let's look at the assault rifles. Avenger X. We also have the Facetin 1, the Maddock 2, which I got it up. I got it up to that level. The Vindicator 3, I've been maxing it out. So that's all I have so far. But for this gameplay, I will be using the Hornet. Now, mind you, I don't have any modifications, like for example I don't have the one that gives you armor piercing. I really don't. So what I did here, as I have a heatsink and I have the magazine upgrade, guys, this is the way I'm rolling with this guy. And what the magazine upgrade does is it increases the magazine size, and the heatsink, what it does, it makes it so that the clip doesn't run out, so you actually don't even have to reload. It just keeps on going. And I am going to use the Turian Soldier. Now, let's go to his powers, guys. Now, I am going to max out Marks. Well, I am going to go to at least rank 4 Marksman, or maybe I might just go to 5 for headshots because it's, Marksman is really good. I would like to max it out, in all honesty, but the way I build this guy is I wanted to start up with some of the powers that will allow me to keep the enemy as far away from me as possible. Why? Because let's look at why. Because I can only, at this moment, if I look at the equipment, I could only hold 2 gels, guys. I still haven't maxed that out. I'm going to have to buy some Spectre packs and, get some gold cards to get that leveled up a little higher. I can hold 3 missiles, but only 2 thermal clip packs and 2 op survival packs. So, that's all I can do, guys. And I do have some gear bonuses that I have unlocked, guys. I have these, and I will be doing a video on gear bonuses, guys, and what are the best gear bonuses for each class and characters. So we will be talking about that. Now because I can only hold 2 gels, silver definitely works good for me, and at the same time my playstyle is going to be a little bit not as aggressive. It is going to seem aggressive on the video, but at the same time I am taking cover, soft cover, and I'm being very careful. But instead of using Marksman first, I decided to use powers like Concussive Shot. Let me explain. Concussive Shot actually, kind of downs the enemy, it pushes them away, and it does a lot of other things that I will explain. The reason I would recommend now when you start using like a soldier class to have Concussive Shot is because Concussive Shot also does another thing, guys. It also takes down barriers. If you notice here, it says effective against barriers. When every time you hit a Banshee with Concussive Shot, a Phantom with Concussive Shot, it starts stripping down their barriers. Okay, so it does work against barriers. And just remember that, guys. Concussive Shot is a great power. The other thing that it does, okay, it detonates tech bursts and fire explosions. So in other words, but that's based on the ammo. Okay, since I do not have any armor piercing capabilities on my gun, what I am doing is I am picking up the kind of ammo that will allow me to do tech explosions or tech bursts. So Concussive Shot detonates ammo types. So for example, if you're using incendiary rounds, you can detonate it with Concussive Shot, okay, and you get a fire explosion, and you also get a tech burst. So it does a few things. It does damage against barriers, so that already is helping me out. It pushes the enemy away, and at the same time, it detonates the ammo that I choose to have. Now, for this gameplay, I chose disruptor rounds. Because of choosing disruptor rounds, you will see that we'll get tech bursts within the game, and I will detonate them on the characters. And because of that, I am able to get quite a few kills, even though I have a level 1 SMG. So let's go through it. What I recommend for starting out for the Turian Soldier, I would go for force and damage. So like that, you could hit the enemy really hard. I'm not with Shatter. I wish Shatter. I'm not exactly sure if Shatter is still broken or still messed up. But I think it's I'm not exactly sure, and I could get that information for you guys. I'll see if I could get that. But it's at the moment I don't use it because I'm not always using cryo ammo to freeze targets. So I would go with a recharge speed, so you could spam Concussive Shot, as you will see that in this gameplay. And I always, guys, hammer is really good. It's really good, but I always go for shredder. I never use hammer. I have used it before, but I'm saying I always recommend shredder. This is why, because it increases damage to organics by 200% over 10 seconds. Okay, so over 10 seconds, it's doing a 200% damage, and look at the damage, it's 340. Okay, so over 10 seconds, it's doing 340 damage, and it also increases the force by 50%. So now, look at the damage, 340. The force is 660 N. So this is a really excellent power because it keeps smaller enemies away from you, and at the same time on Banshees and Brutes, it can for 10 seconds it keeps on killing them, and you will see some Banshee kills off of Concussive Shot in this gameplay. For Proximity Mine, guys, this is a great power. This also detonates, okay, tech explosions, right? Concussive Shot, Proxy Mine, detonate tech explosions. That's why I said, well, I don't have armor piercing, I don't have quite a few other things, so I'm going to take advantage of my level 1 ammo, my level 2 ammo, and I'm going to try to get as many explosions on the enemies, especially on the Reapers, as many as I can get. Now, Proxy Mine, guys. Proxy Mine is great. I always recommend that you never spec out of Proxy Mine, guys. Even if you spec out of a Concussive Shot and you go to Marksman, always at least Proxy Mine, because Proxy Mine, guys, debuffs enemies. And let's go through it. It even says it will detonate when an enemy steps within range. That's fine. I don't use it that way. The way I use it is I shoot it at the feet of the enemy or right at the enemy, okay? Because this is what I want it to do. Let's go. It does damage, by the way. It does kill. So you definitely want to, when you get a Ravager, you always want to shoot this right at them. Now, on rank 4, instead of going for damage, guys, which is good, I recommend radius, because like that, you could the impact radius is bigger, and you could hit multiple targets. And this is why you want radius, because of rank 5. This is the rank that actually debuffs the enemies. Damage taken. So this is it. This is all Proxy Mine is about right here. It says increase damage to Delta targets from all sources by 20% for 8 seconds. So for 8 seconds, the damage done to the enemy is an additional 20%. So that debuffs the enemy, and it preps the enemy to be destroyed, okay, by weapon damage, by power damage. It says from all sources. So for 8 seconds, you can absolutely destroy the enemy. Okay, and that's a great thing. That's why you see a lot of people constantly use Proxy Mine. The Turians constantly use Proxy Mine. The Geth Infiltrator. It's just it's an amazing power. And rank 6, I recommend damage because it's the recharge speed is already really decent, so I definitely recommend that. Now for Turian Veteran, I maxed it out, guys, because I'm really not going to have a lot of fitness on this guy. I do recommend some fitness. If you're going to have some fitness, go to Marksman at least up to rank 4 and go to firing rate, so you can have Marksman up to rank 4, and then if you're going to use this kind of build, and then you put the rest of the points on fitness. Now I'm not going to go with full fitness. I'm actually going to go ahead and max out his training. Now with the Turian's training is absolutely amazing. So rank 4, this is what the Turian is about. He's a good weapons character, and that's why I recommend him for using him, especially for the soldier class. And this is the first guy that I unlocked besides the human soldier, and I will be doing some videos on the human soldier, guys. So rank 4 weapon damage bonus, weapon stability bonus. This is why this guy is really good. You have these stability bonuses. Now for rank 5, this is up to you, but I recommend power damage at the moment, only because if you're trying to make sure you're using powers like Concussive Shot and Proxy Mine to keep the enemies away from you at the moment, because you only have 2 gels and you can't be as aggressive as you want to be, then I recommend power damage at the moment. And then later on, when you can be a little bit more of an aggressive player, I will go for headshots like that. You could just do a lot of headshots. You could just focus on headshots on the enemies, and you could do a lot of damage and drop them, especially now that there are headshot multipliers on the boss enemies. You can shoot banshees in the head and you get that bonus. Okay, but the same thing with primes and a few other enemies. Damage and stability, guys, I would definitely go with this. Look, an additional weapon damage and stability bonuses. That's why this guy is the best weapons character to start out with. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna start out with, guys. And now let's get on to the gameplay. Alrighty, guys, and in regards to the gameplay, before I even go into the Reapers, before I even go into anything else, by the way, I'm playing with Christian Knox right now in this game, guys, and I just want to mention something. I don't know how people got confused, but a few people got confused and thought that Christian Knox and I were the same person. I really don't know how that could be, because I think we both have very different accents and we speak very differently. But I have promoted him in one of my channels. I'm sorry, in one of my videos at some point before, so that's, I guess people got confused about it. But anyways, guys, let's get into the gameplay. Now, this is on PS3. I'm having a lot of fun with the PS3, guys. Brand new manifest. And as you notice, guys, this is why I recommended a concussive shot right off the bat, because it's absolutely helping you out with destroying the enemies, and at the same time, you notice that I have disruptor rounds. I think I had disruptor rounds 2 or 1, and then it's allowing me to do a lot of tech bursts off the enemy. Now, on the first waves, guys, on silver, you are going to get cannibals and marauders. On the second wave on silver, you are going to get an increase of marauders and cannibals, but they're also going to add husks, which kind of mess you up. Now, what is so important about the Reapers? Now, the Reapers, the reason they are kind of unique is that a lot of their enemies are mostly targets that have more health than shields or anything like that. The targets that really have anything that's shielding them are the marauders and also the banshees. The banshees have barriers, and that is why something like Concussive Shot is good if you don't have something like disruptor rounds or anything else to strip the barriers. Now, the amount of damage that you need to do with Concussive Shot to a Banshee's barriers is a lot, guys. You definitely have to, hit Concussive Shot quite a bit to do that. But, this is why I recommend having you going with a soldier class and you haven't really unlocked anything except maybe the Turian Soldier, then you can use that. Now, in the human soldier, he also has Concussive Shot, and Concussive Shot, as I explained before, that detonates your ammo and gives you the kind of explosions that your ammo would give you. And I did explain that on a video that I have on the NOOB guide on the ammo types, guys. You can go to that and see what ammo types give you what kind of explosions. In this kind of situation, I am getting tech bursts with you know, with Concussive Shot and Disruptor rounds, and that's pretty much how I'm playing. The third waves, guys, of silver, pretty much what you're going to get is lower tier enemies, kind of like Marauders here. And what I recommend, guys, is that if you're playing in smaller maps, kind of like Glacier, like I'm playing right now, you're going to want to look for spawn points. Every map has a spawn point where a group of enemies will spawn. That's kind of like the way this works. The only thing that has really changed in the sense of the spawn points for this game is Platinum, in all honesty, because Gold has changed somewhat, but Wave 5 has changed for Gold and Platinum, but mostly Platinum, and that is due to speedrunners. Speedrunners, you know, they're usually missile on Waves 5, 8, and 9. For Silver, guys, I don't recommend, you know, missling spawns because the spawns are small. And then if you look over here, in the later waves, guys, you do get some brutes, and they're all, if you notice, they're all armor. Now this may be obvious to a lot of you guys, but what is good against armor? Armor piercing rounds. Okay, so if you have armor piercing rounds, that is good against armor. That is good against the Reaper faction. Incendiary rounds are great against the Reaper faction. Now I didn't have incendiary rounds, so the next best thing that I did is I'm playing smart. I'm doing tech bursts. I'm using my Concussive Shot, and then at the same time I am also using Proxy Mine on the bigger enemies like brutes to debuff them. So because I have a level 1 Hornet, guys, I mean, this is level 1, you know, I'm telling myself, well, what is the best way that I can operate? So my best advice, guys, when especially going from silver to gold, is to learn the Reaper faction. Number one is that they're full of armor targets, so you're going to want things like incendiary rounds, or you're going to want armor piercing rounds to deal with all that heavy armor. The other thing is that if you don't have that, just make sure you understand your characters very well, that you may understand tech burst, that you may understand if you're using in an adept class, they're using biotic explosions. Guys, biotic explosions do a lot of damage to health, to armor targets. It's just absolutely amazing, as you guys, you know, have seen that already with a few of my previous videos. So this is what I'm doing here, guys. In these later waves, I am making sure that for the bigger targets, I'm debuffing the enemies with Proxy Mine, and you know, Proxy Mine is just a great debuffer. This is why I wanted to use the Turian Soldier as soon as I unlocked it. So if you notice, here we go, guys. I am using Proxy Mine to absolutely debuff the enemies and make my level 1 Hornet seem a little bit more powerful than it is. And at the same time, I am detonating tech bursts on the enemies by also comboing with Concussive Shot. Now this is more, you know, talking about the character per se, right? But my advice to you guys, especially if you're working from silver and trying to get to gold, is just for you to learn your character, for you to learn how the game mechanics work, okay? And also learn the spawns. Now, in these maps, you know, I would definitely recommend to go in on each map. And a map like this, like Great Glacier, they usually spawn first in the basement if you're all standing on here on the top, and that's usually what I like to do if I'm playing with a full team. We're just, you know, instead of doing a traditional speedrun, which is you have 4 players in 4 different parts of the map, you know, we'll just start up all at the top, and by doing that, you force the enemies down here. Look where they're at. they spawn at the basement. They spawn basement, and you know, you'll get quite a few enemies, which will allow you to kind of destroy them quickly. And that is the thing, guys. If you learn the spawns, if you learn where they spawn on each map, if you kind of understand that, and you also learn spawn control, which is no. Let me explain spawn control a little bit, okay? What I mean when I say spawn control is that we are standing, or we have our characters facing a certain part of the map to ensure that they do not spawn on that area, but they spawn across the other side of the map. So for example, if I'm here on this part, well, the enemies are not going to spawn here when the wave starts. When the wave starts, they are going to spawn on the other side of the map. Kind of obvious, right? So that's what I mean by spawn control. I'm making sure that I'm controlling the spawns. And I do that quite a bit, guys, on Platinum. If you notice that, you know, right now in my previous videos, you guys will see that we're running around, we're doing everything, but in the beginning of the wave, we all kind of like, you know, we force spawns. We always force spawns so that we know exactly where to go, and we just rush the spawns. And then after that, you know, either one guy is taking advantage and, you know, hanging out in a certain area to make sure they don't spawn this, so we have a fallback point, or, you know, we just take care of the first, you know, spawn control part of the wave, and then after that we just keep on going and just killing everything on sight. Now, And guys, in silver, a few of the other recommendations that I ain't gonna make, I've already said before, is cover. Make sure that you're taking a lot of cover. Make sure that you learn that, guys, because on gold, this is what happens. From silver to gold, the difficulty is a little higher only because you get a lot more enemies per wave. Okay, you get more enemies per wave, and at the same time, the enemy health and barriers and shields are a little higher in silver. And you'll notice that at the end, like the scores, right? You notice that because and at the end of the scores, we're all playing here. We're playing really hard. This team is really good. Everybody's playing silver very well. And the thing is that, you know, even though we're all rocking it, we're going really fast. This game took only 17 minutes. Probably could have done it in less if we would have done it like a speed run. But, you know, we're all killing everything here. And at the same time, it still took 17 minutes. But, you know, we decided to, we made sure that we understood that, okay guys, well, you know, we're gonna start at the top, we're gonna force the spawns at the bottom, like that. We all know to go down and, you know, take control of that. So that's one thing. The other thing is, guys, like I was saying before, is getting to understand your character, getting to understand the maps, getting to understand that, you know, number one, that the enemy health and shields and barriers, this is obvious, guys. It's going to be obvious that it's going to be much higher on gold. And now per wave, you are also going to start getting boss enemies on gold and in much higher waves. You notice here, when we start getting brutes, is usually on wave 4. So you are going to start getting, you know, like for example, right now we're getting Ravagers and you know, some Banshees here and there, but it's at the later waves. This happens much earlier on gold. So my recommendation to you guys, if you guys are going from silver to gold, is number one, to make sure that you understand your character, whatever your favorite character is. You don't have to know every character, okay? What you do need to know is to understand, you know, tech explosions, tech bursts, biotic explosions, to understand how the powers kind of flow with each other, okay? How with your teammates, understand how your powers flow with your ammo types, and at the same time, guys, you saw this, that I can only hold 2 gels. What I recommend, if you're going from silver to gold, to at least be able to hold 3 gels, okay? Because in all honesty, you know, if depending on the kind of player you are, you may be a detriment to your team because they'll have to pick you up if you're, you know, if you're more aggressive. Now, guys, I have been playing platinum already, even just with my 2 gels, and PS3 already. I'm already playing gold. I am doing it, and I do have gold gameplay with the same character in this map to show you guys how to get to gold, gold reapers, because we're specifically but the thing is that I play a little different. I don't play as aggressive with this guy, and I'm using Concussive Shot, and I'm using Proxy Mine to be able to, as you see, I'm doing tons of explosions of this guy, and at the same time, I am detonating other people's explosions. For example, one of the other teammates here has incendiary rounds. So if you notice in the brute, sometimes there'll be like a fire explosion or something like that. That's because I'll detonate it with either Proxy Mine or Concussive Shot. So again, get to know your character well. Get to understand what tech bursts are, what ammo types do. Okay, and I do have the video on that already. Okay, I will work on, and the video also talks about it, by the way, the ammo types also talks about tech bursts, fire explosions. But what I will do is also create another video in regards to tech bursts, explosions, biotic explosions, every single type of explosion you can think of, and we will go into it. But now, in the sense of being a silver player and going from silver to gold, guys, I recommend to at least be able to carry 3 gels, at least be able to carry 3 missiles, understand spawn control, understand that first of all, the enemies are spawn clustered in certain areas. So if you are with a certain group, know that when you go out to find a spawn, it's not just going to be one enemy there, okay? Expect that there will be quite a few enemies, and that, you know, try to understand or pretty much how each wave works, okay? And here I didn't go into detail as to what enemies you will find on each wave. What I can explain here in regards to silver, and you can see it if you go wave to wave, what I can explain in regards to silver is that you start getting bigger boss enemies after wave 4. Okay, and those are just marauders and maybe the random Banshee on silver. And then wave 7 you start getting enemies like brutes and brutes and also ravagers. So waves 8 and 9 are always going to be the most difficult waves, guys, especially 8. In all honesty, wave 9 is many times even easier than wave 8, and it kind of makes sense. I think that BioWare did that to make wave 8 like one of the most difficult waves, because then it's like, well, if you made it this far, this should definitely be the most difficult, and then wave 9 you get a little bit of a breather. Don't get me wrong, wave 9 is still tough. You get banshees, you get ravagers, you do get brutes, okay, and you do get marauders. You get pretty much every enemy in the Reaper faction. The thing is that sometimes wave 9 you have lesser enemies. You don't have like the massive you don't have how do I explain it? I'm sorry, guys. You don't have every enemy faction on wave 9 all the time. So on wave 9, let me break down a little better. On wave 9, what you are getting are mostly ravagers. You are also getting some brutes, and you're getting a random banshee. But you're not always getting a ton of marauders or a ton of husks. The game kind of plays around with that. Now, let me explain a little something about banshees and how to handle the reapers and banshees. Okay, banshees are the most hated and feared enemy in this game, in the entire game, all the way up to platinum. The way you want to play versus reapers is that if, for example, my character, if you noticed, sometimes I'll see a banshee and I won't fight her head on because I don't have the capability to drop her quickly. So what I'm doing is I'm going around and killing all the smaller enemies, guys. You definitely want to kind of kite the banshee around and leave her alone if you can. In this situation, I'm fighting her because that's it. We finished the devices, and a lot of the enemies are mostly dead, and I'm doing my best to drop her. You notice it's taking quite a bit to drop this banshee, but what I do is I try to take out all the smaller enemies, guys, and that's what you do. And when I used to train people on how to handle old reapers, I used to tell them, hey, kill everything else, just leave the banshees alone, and the game will not spawn them again, because every wave has what is called a wave budget. That means that there's only a certain amount of points that can be earned on each wave, except for the objective. The objective waves are somewhat limited. So because of that, what you can do is just kill all the marauders, kill all the brutes, kill all the other enemies that you can master much easier than the banshee, and just kite the banshee around. Just leave her alone and keep on destroying all the other enemies, so that then you can actually just destroy the banshee at the end. If she's really on top of you, you have no choice but to do, just to take her out, then go ahead and do so. But in all honesty, if you're wanting to kind of, you're just getting in as a noob, because guess what, you're a noob, and you're just getting started with reapers, you're just really trying to get in there, your weapons are not, that powerful, you really don't have a lot of gear. Number one, learn your target, of course, learn your character, of course, learn your powers, of course, but at the same time, make sure that you also understand tactics, that you are not going head on with a banshee when hey, well, I might get picked up, I might get down. So pick your battles appropriately. That's what I would say in regards to going from silver to gold, because on gold you do that too. If you know that you're gonna have a lot of trouble with a banshee, either take her together with the team, as like we're doing here now. How fast she went down, I debuffed her, everybody else debuffed her, and we were able to take her down quickly. But then at the same time, what you want to do is go around and kill all the small targets that you can. The targets that that you can do tech burst on, that you can fire explosives, that your ammo types can help out, your powers can help out with. And then towards the end, you hit the banshee, guys. The banshee is this. I know you think she's so evil, she's something else, she's tough, and she also has, she's also. She can be taken down. She can be taken down by your team if you all do it together. So my recommendation for that, in the sense of banshees, if you're starting out as a noob, okay, before you're powerful enough to take down a banshee yourself, take her out with the team, kite her around, kill the other smaller targets, and you should be fine. And at the same time, you'll do fine by the scoreboard, guys. Alright, guys, I'm going to do another video on the gold, and I will go into more details in regards to the Reaper faction. Stay tuned for that, and Beta 1 out, and hope you enjoyed this video.